welcome to the Damn Dude Podcast.
Damn, dude.
I'm your host, California Cal, and this is the show where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Really stuff that'll help give us a new perspective or really an opportunity to think about shit in a different way. We've realized that this show, a lot of the conversations that we have, oftentimes a lot of dudes are afraid to have because it kind of goes too deep too quick and yeah, I don't know, it's a trip. So we've got a really dope and interesting episode today.
Itself, and I think
Whoa,
it's
shit.
serious.
Sorry.
That's a big.
I'm gonna. Whoa, my bad. Stuff on my phone just playing. Again, shout out because we got show suggestions again and topics, which I'm fucking stoked about because these are really fucking good. So the way I see it is, let's go the fuck in. This is episode 88, and holy shit, that's a lucky number to some degree. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's create a fucking lucky ass show. So what I want to do is I want to bring us in with this little clip real quick because it pertains to what we're about to go into. I do not own the rights to this whatsoever. This is a little clip borrowed from Mike Tyson's podcast, Hot Boxing. Yeah, here, have a peep.
You gotta be able to make a fool of yourself and not take yourself serious.
That's a big part of success,
That's
right,
part
Mike?
of my success. Everybody thinks I'm a mean, shrewd motherfucker. I'm a fucking
No,
clown.
it's like you
know what I
can't
mean?
you can't be afraid to get embarrassed or to fail, right, Mike?
No, how can you get embarrassed? We're all
Yeah. gonna
gonna die and go somewhere. How he
Yeah.
gonna embarrass me?
Yeah.
He's no better than me. This is what it is. That's our problem now. All of us think that we're special and we wouldn't do what this guy, this girl did and everything. We're just animals being taught to be human beings. We're not human beings, but animals taught to be human beings. You gotta be able to.
Damn, dude.
Yo, I'm telling you, Mike Tyson is one of the absolute wisest motherfuckers on this planet. Yo, that's fucking crazy, dude. Like, how am I gonna be embarrassed? Like, dude, that shit goes hard. I love that. So that pertains to a lot of stuff we're getting into because we're gonna cover a few different topics, but a lot of this has to pertain to like men and our emotions and how we relate to them and how myself as a guy and what I observe, how these relate. Now I'm no fucking expert or whatever. This is just, I do have some good experience and I have my own insights. So that's what I aim to share here. And I think this can help a lot of people. And that's why I'm so excited about this. So one of the first things, like, let's just jump right into this, is men and women and our emotions. But I'm kind of more focusing on men. I wrote women in my notes because I wanted to cover both sides, but this kind of, I feel like, I don't know, I kind of want to address men more, specifically. We'll see how this goes. We'll see where it goes. So with men and our emotions, it seems as that double standards exist. And it's like, why, who, and how made it so men can't feel or express our emotions? And I'm like, damn, that's a good fucking question. Because that definitely does exist. I see that, I witness that, I feel that, and I felt that. Yeah, that's a great question. It's very insightful. So how I interpret this is I started looking at this as like the nature of men and women, where it's like, what is the nature of our energy to do, right? So like for me, one of my favorite things to do is simplify. Like being able to do this formula in my head where I just keep simplifying and boil it down to the smallest degree brings me to a point of truth and understanding. And since I've started doing this, I don't really get mad or, you know what I'm saying? It's like not a lot upsets me because I'm like, oh, well, here's the reality of it. I'm not caught up in the hype. So what I see happens, like where this double standard comes from for like men to not share and express, I think it comes from, for one, the nature of male energy. Like, it's of male energy to not worry about, like, I love this example and I've used it before. I'm going to use it again. Like, men love to build a seawall or a dam or a canal or a jetty or something like that. And that's like the thought process of men in general. And then the energy and the thought process of a woman is more like the ocean. It comes and goes, and it's like, it's powerful, it's beautiful, but it's like the man tries to put up different walls to build and keep things safe and to protect. So it's almost like this like protector sort of role. So I think what happens is we go so far into this protector role that we end up trying to protect ourselves, so much so that we build an entire fucking brick wall and house around ourselves emotionally. So it's like, what I observe is that we can't, or we don't express, it's not that we can't, but I'm speaking very generally. In general, men don't want to and don't express these things because we've all built boxes around our emotions and we greet each other with those boxes, and we understand like, yo, that's your box, this is my box, that's your box, that's your box. Like, we all got them. And all right, well, what are we up to now? How about let's just not think about the box? And I think that's kind of what happened with society is like, as more entertainment started growing, less focus on self started growing. And damn, the microphone sounds really good today. I don't know what. My son messed with all my dials and I tweaked them back a little, and I feel like the sound's clean. Anyway, sorry, that was way off topic. So I see the typical standard role as a man in the United States anyway is to like serve a purpose. And it's like, and then I realize, no, hold on, let me re-say this. I don't want to say that. I mean, I kind of have a good point. Nah, let's not go there. Erase that. Let's just pretend I went and edited that out. So like, okay, again, the classic example, and this is just kind of paint the picture a little better and to like break this down and boil it down to the smallest degree. So if you think about the classic example of a man going to war, right? And it's like, imagine he's there and he's at the door, he's about to leave his wife, and she's like, no, don't go. Like, I don't want you to go. And he's like, I have to, honey. I've got to serve my duty. I've got to serve my country. You know, I gotta stand for what's right and what we believe in. If you want to keep living this lifestyle and we want to keep having the things we enjoy, I have to go do this. And it's like, damn, all right, there's a sense of purpose. So that man goes and fights through all the emotions because he's trying to go do what he knows is right. So if we flip the example and we were to say, wife says, no, don't go. He says, I'm off to war. Wife says, no, don't go. And he says, all right, you know what? I'll stay. And it's like, nobody's going to actually feel better. Like, it's almost like what I observe is like the woman wants to miss him, but it's like a test of that. Like, it's almost like a test. And the way I see it is almost like whether it's on purpose or not, it's kind of like two different things meet. And it's like feminine energy and masculine energy come and they test each other because they're different. They're experiencing, they're colliding, you know what I'm saying? Just like figuring it out. And when you hit the core of femininity and you hit the core of masculinity, they communicate very deeply. And I think that's why it's okay to be like, I'm going off to war. I miss you. I love you. And I'm going. And that's why, and it's like the woman saying, no, don't go, don't go, don't go. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you. And it's like, it's almost, that can be interpreted in different ways, but it's almost like that is a test. Whether, I don't think the woman is trying to, like, that's genuine. Like, yeah, I don't want you to go, like who would want that? And on the other hand, though, it's like, if you fail that test of being in alignment with your own masculinity, it's like, I think that is a test from feminine to masculine to test your manhood, to test your manliness. And it's almost like that shows your worth to a woman. And I think when we don't honor our worth and we don't fulfill on our purpose, we become unattractive. So I think what happens is the more that we don't honor, so especially as men, the more that we don't honor ourselves, every day we're saying, okay, I'm not going to go, I won't go to war, I'll stay here. So whatever that looks like, that shows up differently for everybody. For some people, it's because they're in a career that they hate. For some people, it's because they're in a situation or relationship or whatever that they just aren't stoked about, right? And I think that when we continuously dishonor ourselves and our child self, our inner child, when our inner spirit, when we dishonor that and we're making kid us not proud of ourselves, then we kind of have to build walls up just to be able to get through every day, because we need to block ourselves from the reality of what we really want.
Damn, dude.
That was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when we keep blocking these realities, how are we ever going to get past it? You know what I'm saying? So for some of us, our walls are so high and we have this brick box around our head or our emotions so deeply that we like don't even know that we're doing it. Like we don't even know that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we think that's the way it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Because our dads showed us that. They didn't fucking express shit to us. And then it's interesting. I was having a conversation with my friend earlier, and it's like he was telling me about a book he read about how the majority of us are raised by primarily women. And this is a trip because it had me thinking, and it's like, well, wow, like it was weird because at first I was kind of like, huh? I wanted to feel offended, but then I was like, oh no, this makes a lot of sense. Which was when we go to school, the majority of our teachers are women. And then at home, most of the time, we're raised by our moms. So not that that's bad or wrong or whatever, but there's just a major lack of masculine energy being taught and being exhibited. That's what really, or like there's no example of it or very, very limited examples of it. You know, because as masculine as you can be, like in a positive way, as a school teacher, there's still like the whole school system's kind of designed in a sort of, I don't want to say that. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. That just had me thinking. I haven't fully thought this out yet, but there's a book that I'm going to order and I'm going to read that I will dive into more. But anyways, I'm looking at it like, dude, I think we just keep not honoring our kid self, our higher self, our spirit, whatever it is, that thing that we believed in ourselves. Like when we believed we could be a ninja or a princess as a kid, like when we're making that person not proud of us, it creates more walls, more anxiety, this and that. And it's like, it just only gets darker and heavier. So if we don't do the work to remove those bricks or to acknowledge that we're carrying around this fucking pile of shit, then we're not going to get any better. And everything will continuously get worse until the whole thing collapses on you and the whole fucking shit brick house falls on your head. Or is it brick shit house? I don't know. When the whole thing falls on your fucking head, you're just like, oh shit. And then your only choice is to push through all the broken bricks and rubble because you weren't forced to do that before. It was kind of just on you like a backpack and a hat and some extra fat around the belly. Like, but then all of a sudden it's like, you can only stack so much straw on a fucking camel, right? Like there's the famous straw that broke the camel's back. Like, dude, that one extra piece of straw, bro, you went too far. And that's what happens with us. It's like our emotions and our emotional baggage is these straws. And if we keep building them and we don't ever take the time to shake them off and like acknowledge, yo, this is too much, that's when shit starts falling apart. And then that, unfortunately, that whole fucking box that you've been carrying has to collapse on you. And oftentimes that's the only way that people are going to learn. I was going to say unfortunately, but it's not unfortunate because we all have to learn our life lessons as we go through life. So, something that I think to also answer another part of the question that's kind of like attached to this is that it seems is that hold on, which way do I want to go with this? Okay, yeah, is that it seems to be hold on. I feel like the subject switches too fast. Hold on a second. Okay, no, I said what I wanted to say. So, as a extension of everything we just talked about, it also seems that it seems to be getting better. Like this whole problem and issue with men not expressing seems to be getting better. Like there's an awakening. It's like what, and the question is what caused this? Like what caused this awakening? And it's funny because I've been talking about an awakening happening since when I started since even before I started the podcast, actually. If you go back to my personal Instagram and you look at Because Documenting, if you scroll down, that whole thing, I talked about that a lot. Like, yo, there's definitely an awakening happening. Like shit is cracking off. And I think what's happening is a couple things. Is number one, truth vibrates the fastest.
Damn, dude.
And you can take that so many ways. When I first heard David Meltzer say that, and I'm just like, holy fuck, it's so true. That's why it's like, even if you're offended or something by somebody, when somebody says something, like if there's truth about it, you're like, fuck, but they're right, you know, like. So I think that's kind of what's happening. I think that's one piece of what's happening is right now, certain people are speaking up and there's certain truth and positivity that cannot be distorted or clouded or misinterpreted. Well, I mean, it can be misinterpreted, but it's like you feel it. You know what I'm saying? And the more shows like this that exist, Damn Dude Podcast, if you go listen to Real AF with Andy Frisella, if you go listen to Dropping Bombs with Brad Lee, if you listen to even Ben Baller's podcast, Behind the Baller, like they all like, and David Meltzer's podcast too, this is a good one as well. But they all have different dynamics, but they're all come kind of to the same thing. A lot of them will have some of them will have opposing views and whatever. But it's like, I love that. I love seeing different angles of things. So that's why I listen to these different people. And those are just like my top favorite ones, I would say. But those, what my point is that they're all packed with a lot of truth. And it resonates and it vibrates and people feel it. And I think that's the same thing with this show is like, yo, we're spitting the truth and this is a lot of it is my truth, but at the same time, a lot of it is the truth because I do my best to speak on I do my best to speak my truth based off of the truth. And I understand that there's a difference, right? So I think also at the same time, what's happening is media it has been exposed. And that's actually one thing I absolutely love Donald Trump for is that he shook up media. And because of that, truth had the opportunity to seep in. You know what I'm saying? So wherever you stand on that, who cares? But like, you know, on the political side of it. But that's just one thing we can't deny. Is like he shook up media, social media, everything. And because of that, there's a lot of truth that's exposed now. We've all seen the clips of all the news people saying the same thing over 100 different channels coming from Democrat or Republican news. And it's like, bro, they take the same shit and just twist it. Both sides are fucking incorrect or only partially true. And it's like, bro, if you don't just look at what's in the middle or look at the facts of things, and we just need to shut up about shit. You know what I mean? So I think what's happening is like sort of this as above, so below is going on. And I mean, essentially how I could see that or re-say that would be like the circle of life in its own way. where Mother Nature heals itself. The earth heals itself. We are part of the earth. We heal ourselves. We heal. But the thing, wow, this is weird. As humans, we can choose not to heal ourselves. That's a fucking trip, dude.
Damn, dude.
And that's where a lot of bullshit comes from for us, is because we're like fighting and resisting. Holy shit, man. So I think when it's like when we don't honor the truth in ourselves, it makes shit hard. And that's why like I'm here having vulnerable conversations and putting this shit out there, because yo, somebody needs to do it, and there's nobody in my community that's doing it, so I'm gonna do it, you know? And I realize, I'm like, holy fuck, I still haven't seen anybody like me on the internet yet. And I think that's dope, because once people discover this, they're gonna be like, damn, that fool is spitting facts, like, holy shit. And that's one thing that a lot of people around me tell me is like, damn, you were right, like, that, you, like, bro, you only spit facts. And I'm not trying to like brag or whatever. I'm just saying, like, I'm not really on some bullshit type of shit sort of person. Like, I do my best to see the reality and real life of everything, including my emotions. Because like I said, when I had the conversation, well, I've said in earlier podcasts, when I talked to my friend Mark, he sat me down, and he knew I was all fucked up at the time, but sat me down and looked me in the eye. I was like, how can you call yourself a real man? I was like, what? No, he had asked me, when's the last time you cried? And I was like, it has been like 6 years or something. And he's like, how can you call yourself a real man? And I was like, what the fuck? Because I was still pretty hard at the time. And he was like, a real man can feel and experience and express every range of emotion. That's a real man.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
And I was like, damn, dude. Like, fuck. You're right, man. And it was just interesting, because his outer persona of what he I guess his statistic would be that like he's an older gay man. So it was just like our dynamic was trippy, because I had never spoke to an older gay man before. Like, real shit. Like, that might sound funny, but like I really hadn't at that point. So it was just mind blowing to me, because it's like I've always been willing to. I've been like, if you see the range of people that I know, you would be fucking like, you really know that guy? Like, trippy. Like, I know a very broad range of people. So, I forgot where I was going with that exactly, but, I don't know. My point is that like taking on new perspectives and be willing to like set this box of weight aside to learn some new shit and see the truth and feel the truth, I think is what's going on. So, like I said, the truth vibrates the fastest. So when we tell ourselves the truth and we really look at ourselves and listen to ourselves really, really honestly, especially as men, it doesn't matter what status you come from, whatever. It's like you could be gay, straight, this, that. And oh yeah, that's what I was talking about but he told me, so my friend Mark told me all that, like he told me that. And when he said that, it just made me really like, it registered like, oh shit. If I can't feel this whole range of stuff, sorry, I just took us on a whole crazy roundabout, but to get back to where it was. But if you're with me still, then this is some good shit. But he told me that, it blew my mind, and I was like, fuck, dude, you're absolutely right. Because how can you consider yourself a real fucking man or woman if you can't feel the whole range of emotions? You know what I mean? And I think what happens is, like, a lot of men, we try to fix shit without facing the emotions. And then that's when a fight happens in a relationship or just, different dynamics. So I feel like it's this whole combination of little things that kind of add up that equal, you know what I'm saying? That equal the whole thing, as it kind of just describes. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. After these messages, we will be right back.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
What up, everybody? Welcome back. Man, that last little piece got a little wacky there. Sorry about that. It got a little confusing, but I think the point came across. I realized my notes were a little backwards, like how I was thinking versus how I wrote it. It didn't, like, the pieces were like, it was like if you did a puzzle and you like put the piece together and it wasn't the right one, but it still looked correct for a long time until you got to the last final part and you're like, oh, that doesn't go there. Like, that's what my notes were like on that piece. Like, yeah. Anyway, we had a fucking round peg in a square hole. I don't know. Whatever, dude. I hope you guys, I don't know. All right, so next piece of this. This is cool, man. I really love this. I guess I'll just read it as the question. What can potentially cause a man to continuously suppress and keep wearing... Oh, I didn't write it as a question. I wrote it as notes. Okay, let's try this again. Because I have like me style of notes where it's like, if anybody else looked at it, you don't really know where it's going. But it's like, I write these little bullet points where it's just like, I'll leave out certain words and stuff. So as I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, I just left out a gang of words for this to be a real sentence. So let me just try this again. I'm going to just wing it. So what can potentially cause in a man to continuously suppress and keep wearing a brave face? So what can potentially happen? Okay, let me rephrase this. So like, potentially what can happen inside of a man to when we keep suppressing our feelings and emotions and keep putting on a brave face just to keep going? What can happen? So, damn, this is crazy. This can go a lot of ways. But first of all, because like I said, when I think of something, I take a big piece of it, and then I start going smaller, down to the tiniest molecule. I'm like, oh, that's the root of it. So, excuse me. If you hear in my thinking, that's what I'm doing. We're going to the root of it. So, number one, if a man keeps suppressing their emotions, or anybody, number one is going to be unhappiness, unclean thoughts, unclean habits, usually, eating bad, usually being lazy, usually feeling depressed, being argumentative, egotistical, and then that leads into relationships breaking down on the outside. And a lot of times a dude will be harboring shit from work or his relationship or kids or family or how much that person's involved in the news or, like really cares about sports or entertainment or stuff like that. Oh, sorry. I don't know. I got runny nose all of a sudden. Like, I think what happens is we start finding more distractions. Yeah, to kind of sum it all up is like when we suppress, we find more distractions. And usually what that looks like is being way too into sports or politics or video games or different hobbies, like being an enthusiast of random shit that, you really weren't into that much. And it's because of a lack of facing self and emotions rather than it being like, I love this so much. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of more like an escape. And I think, because I've had to really analyze this for myself when it comes to like motorcycles and off-roading and all of that, like how much of this is an escape and how much of this is because I really love it. So I think that starts happening. We start leaning into hobbies and this and that and spending money on random shit. And we start wanting. There you go. We start wanting a lot of stuff. We start wanting different things. We start wanting things we can't have. You know, when we keep putting on a brave face, I think that's what happens is we start wanting things we can't have often because we're scared to face reality. And the deeper we go down that hole, the harder it gets to face ourselves and what we really need to deal with. Sorry, I just got messages. And badass messages. Shout out to my homie Ed. Damn, I need to go blow my... I should take a break real quick. I don't want to keep sounding gross. Hold on, guys. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. All right. Welcome back, Mike and Ike. I was going to say sorry about that, but I'm really don't feel sorry, so I'm not going to say that. I just had to go blow my nose real quick. So, for one, I was going to say shout out to my homie Ed. I just got a message. I didn't even read the whole thing yet. But I recommended a book to him, and I guess he got it already. And he's listening to the audio version, and yeah, I'm going to read his text in a minute, but it looked like he's pretty fucking stoked. And that book is The Way of the Superior Man by David Dieta. That book is absolutely motherfucking amazing. Like I always fucking say, I would not get into a serious relationship. I would not get married as a man if you do not read that fucking book. I'm telling you, because if you do, I mean, go for it. You'll still be fine. But the thing is, it just is wise, dude. Like that book is something else. Yeah, it's fucking interesting as fuck, dude. So, excuse me. Moving forwards. When we keep putting on this brave face and not actually facing ourselves, we're lying to ourselves. We need to put on that brave face only sometimes. You know what I mean? It's so rare we actually need to do that in today's day and age. Like, for reals. Because really, like, what is there that we need to act so brave about? There's no fucking mountain, there's no fucking lions attacking you. There's not fucking wolves trying to eat you. There's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe if you live somewhere crazy in the country, but like in the United States in general, there's not a whole lot we need to actively be afraid of. Now, I mean, if you live in the hood, then, there's probably okay, I take that back. If you live in the hood, it's a different story, but you get comfortable and you adapt to your environment and you know how to navigate. You know what I'm saying? It becomes no longer scary, but more aware, So when we continuously suppress, the next thing I think that happens is we start getting sick often. We start getting a bunch of ailments frequently and often. We naturally start having, it's like this whole cycle of downward spirals. So let me see if I can explain this because it's usually just in drawing. So like, sorry, that's gross. So, fuck, I wasn't ready to talk about this, but this is good. So, imagine every year, few months, whatever, in life, let's say each year, let's just say year. Each year represents a new step. And it's like we're trying to build a staircase is getting built of our life experience. So, let's say certain phases of your life, every year is a step. And if you look back, how much work did you do to build the step to get to the treasure at the top? Did you do that? Did you really build a solid foundation for every step of the way? Or do you continuously try to keep jumping from the bottom to the top, trying to find a quick way to solve shit? And I think that's what most men are doing emotionally, is rather than building these platforms, because if I fall off this step, I'm just going to land on the next step. But if I'm trying to do this shit, just trying to like not build any steps, and I go to the top and then I'm at the bottom, and it's like when I fall off, I fall all the way down to the floor, a whole flight of stairs, like, you know, what, as tall as a whole flight of stairs. But if I've got these big solid blocks, if I fall off one, boom, I land on a solid next one. And that basically represents regression with our emotions. So if we keep building and do it, like how each step gets built is by being aware, getting better 1% every single day. If we're getting 1% better every day, then we're building a solid foundation. If we're getting 1% worse every day, we cheat and we try and jump to the top. And how I see trying to jump to the top, trying to throw a fucking like Batman thing up and pull yourself up and all that shit, like how I see that in real life is when men take too much satisfaction in sports or activities or distractions. Let's just say distractions. When the hobbies become way too big, when the distractions just become, I need to go watch this game, I need to do this. It's like, no, you don't. What's going to happen if you don't? You're going to have to sit with your own thoughts for a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like, what happens if you don't watch fucking Sunday or Monday or Thursday night football? I don't even know what day it's on anymore. Like, what happens if you don't? Your friends not think you're cool? Do you not think you're cool? You know, do we have to sit there? Like, what's the alternative? What happens if the power goes out? What are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, so I just find it fascinating that when we keep putting on this brave face, we keep lying to ourselves, we keep pretending, we go to distractions and we keep trying to jump and cheat our way to the gold. But the only way we get that satisfaction of ever feeling like we're at the top is through other people accomplishing real shit in real life. That's why, as a lot of men like to wear other men's name across their back on a jersey or whatever. Like, I don't really rock with that. Like, I'll wear a jersey here and there if it's like, I'm just a fan, but I'm not, even then, dude, I don't know. I still kind of question it. Excuse me. And it's funny because actually the only jersey I have that has a name on it is a LaDainian Tomlinson jersey. And it resonates with me. For one, I like that dude a lot. But two, it's got my last name on it. And I was actually thinking of taking the Linson off. I don't know. I haven't figured. I don't want to destroy it. I don't know. It kind of just sits there as like a collectible item more than anything. And I only paid like, what, $8 for it or something. And it's the legit stitched, like authentic one. Anyway, we just become more dependent on other people's successes, and that in turn feels like our own success. Like, I don't feel like, I don't know. I feel like, wow, that's cool. Good job. But it doesn't resonate with me as like, wow, I did a good job. But people are like, oh, we did this, we did that. It's like, you're on the fucking Chargers? Like, really? Like, you did what? You did what? Like, you were at your house screaming at your TV. Like, yeah, the energy's out there, the support, that's cool, And this isn't a diss on anybody. I'm just saying, like, this is how I see that it breaks down and why a lot of men do this. Because I've done that. And I had to analyze, why do I do this? And a lot of it was fear of rejection. Like, I didn't want my friends to not like me or this or that. And I'm like, because I'm sitting there, I'm having fun, but it's like, man, I really need to get this done. And I'm just like shaking. I'm like, I got this, I got that. I need to go here. I want to do this. I want to go there. And it's like, damn, we're just sitting there getting high and drinking. Like, that's fun. Don't get me wrong. Grilling food, barbecuing, like, that's a great time. And at the same time, that is not the maximum quality of life. That, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, spending quality time with people is cool. But it's like, what is the quality of that quality time? Is it because we're all here and we're all insecure about something and we really just don't want that feeling of like our dad's been at work for too long, or our mom left us here, or somebody made us feel abandoned, or somebody did abandon us, or, wherever we stand in life, we all have different stories and shit. So I think that's what happens is it's like, and then it feels good and camaraderie happens, but it's almost like fake camaraderie. I mean, I don't want, like, I feel like this is offensive to a lot of people, but it seems as fake camaraderie because in my experience, real camaraderie we go through sucky shit together. And a sports team that you don't make any fucking money off of, or you're not connected to, or whatever, you're not connected like that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a fan. I like watching sports, but it's not my identity, and it's not I can't be by myself if I don't do this. Like, I don't even own a TV or have internet in my house. Like 100%. Every time I need to use the internet to upload these shows, I fucking use the hotspot on my phone. Otherwise, I don't got any fucking internet or TV. Like, I can't even watch the shit if I wanted to. I mean, maybe I could hotspot it, whatever, but then I can't upload my shows and do my actual work on my computer because it'll use all my data. So I would just rather not. You know, it's like I realized, holy fuck, I got a whole cabinet full of books. I've read like half of them. This is incredible. Like, I cannot believe that I'm actually getting 1% better every day. Also, I forgot to say, my apologies to everybody who looks forward to the show coming out on its scheduled time. Over the last 2 days, I got food poisoning. I was sick as fucking fuck, and I still did my 75 hard, which felt fucking absolutely motherfucking impossible. Excuse me. Oh, gross. Dude, I'm being so nasty. I'm sorry, guys. I am sorry for that. That's pretty gross. I need to be more responsible with my sniffing. What the fuck? How is my card full? Oh, we're having problem after problem here, guys. Motherfucker. Okay, you know what? We're going to take a quick break. You guys won't even notice. This just takes a long time for me. But when the show's edited, you won't even know. It'll just be a snap of a finger. So, fuck. 1 second. We'll be right back.
Damn, dude.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Holy fucking shit, dude. What a flustercluck, dude. Wow, my camera was tripping, dude. So let's try and pick back up. Let's keep this momentum and this energy going. Oh fuck, dude, I lost my point. Yeah. So we're gonna just pick up with the next topic because that took a lot of work. Like 20 minutes just went by in between me pausing the thing and then right now. So yeah. Anyways, let's talk about intuition. What does it feel like physically? And what do we look for or recognize? Like, how do we know when it's our gut feeling versus not? I think that's a great question. So, first of all, I am not a medical doctor or a fucking nutritionist or none of that shit. I'm just a dude who's learned some shit and seen some shit. So, this is all my observation and I guess opinion, but my opinion is backed up with a lot of facts that you can go look up. So, I'll just preface it with that. So where I'm first going to go with this is, how do we recognize our intuition? Well, I think first of all, we need to be able to have a healthy intuition. So what does that look like? Well, I think what I've learned is that in order for our intuition to be good and correct and reliable, we need to have good gut health. So that means having a good microbiome. When we have good gut health, we have good microbiome, that means that, that typically means that, it typically means that we have a good and healthy system. And when you've got good gut health, you've got a good microbiome, then you typically are going to have blood cells that are oxygenated. Your body's in an alkaline state if you're really eating good, because it's like a lot of the shit that's available to us in America is not good for our gut health. So what happens is when we have good gut health and we have oxygenated blood cells and all of our signals are clear from one to the other, like if we've got stuff carrying information from our gut to our brain, like, is that a reliable source? Is that full of GMOs and fast food and processed shit? Is it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, clearly it's not just like, oh, you eat it and it just goes doo-doo-doo up there. But like, I'm very simplifying, right? So what I mean is that, that kind of went weird, but anyway. So I think in order to recognize intuition, it starts with having good health. Right? Exercising, eating good, speaking good to yourself, taking care of yourself, and creating an environment that you enjoy and feel good in. So I think when we surround ourselves with these things and we position ourselves in ways where the things around us feel good and look good and seem good and all of that, we're able to like feel our intuition much better because it's of healthy intuition. Now, at the same time, I think the next level of this is now this I think this is an unpopular belief. I'm not sure. In my experience, anxiety and depression are forms of intuition that we mislabel and misinterpret. I think anxiety being one of the biggest ones as somebody who experiences it a lot and has it go on and off, and like you can never really find the real source of it. Right? It's like, oh, it wasn't the combination of this thing. Because like when I'm really dealing with anxiety really bad, I'm like, so, okay, let's give a real life example. So for me, when I'm having anxiety really bad, what it looks and feels like is like, I'll go to the chiropractor and I'll just have this like panic attack where I start sweating and feeling like I can't talk and like stuff like that. So I'm trying to like do the math on what it is that equals that. Because for me, I know when I feel like I'm going to start sweating in a time and place where it's not appropriate to be sweaty, that's the most terrifying thing in the world to me. So I realized, okay, I'm doing my workouts. Or it's to me, so I'm like, okay, maybe it's because I'm working out that's making it so I'm not having panic attacks. So then I work out and I go and then I still go have one. But I'm looking at what I did. I did my workout, I took a shower, and then I rushed over there. And my hair didn't dry all the way, so the wetness in my hair kind of turned to, maybe like, I don't know, there's still moisture in my hair. So maybe I could feel whether it's sweat or moisture on my head, it triggers that. And then I'm like, oh shit, like it's because my hair was still a little bit wet. So then I'm blow drying my hair all the way before I go. And then I'm like, okay, a couple times was successful. And then a couple times I still freaked out. I'm like, the fuck, that wasn't it either. And then I'm like, maybe it's just because I feel hot. Like after I get out of the shower, I feel really hot for a long time. So I'm like coming out of the shower. I'm like, oh, maybe that's what it is. I'm showering too soon. Like I'm not giving myself a cool down period. So I'm looking at all these different things. I'm like, what the fuck? There's no reliable trigger or source because it keeps fucking changing and it keeps happening. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I realized, and there's actually a lot of doctors who will tell you this and show you this. Well, I mean, good doctors, is that anxiety is linked directly to an absence of vitamins or minerals, or vitamins and or mineral. Well, both, because you need vitamins and minerals. From what I've learned, are useless with one without the other. Like you need both for them to be active. Anyway, it's a lack of a healthy thing, I guess, inside of us that causes that. So that makes sense too with having good gut health. So I think that when so another facet to this is I think anxiety is a huge indicator of intuition. It's our body being like, hello, 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 do something different, 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 do something different. I think that's what anxiety is. Or it's like, whoa, you're doing something different. Whoa, you're doing something different. Whoa, you're doing something different. Like I think it comes like that. So I think what happens is, I think when our stomach kind of has like butterflies, or you start feeling like your breathing starts getting short, or like you get this overwhelming sense of like you're floating or things like that, I think that's what it feels like. Like for me, my intuition, like my stomach just has this like pulsating, scared, excited feeling. And then my brain goes, no, 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 no. And for me, that's the trigger when I know, because they start communicating opposite. So a lot of times there's just some feeling that triggers my brain to go, no, we don't want to do this. So for me, once my brain goes, no, that's scary, or don't do that, like that's my trigger for myself that I need to go do this, because my brain, my gut just told me something, and that communicated to my brain. And a lot of times the first part, or I should say the loudest voice, and seemingly is first, is the bitch voice inside of us. The one that talks us out of doing shit, you know, the one that holds us back from really achieving the things we want, that it lets us believe and allow our excuses in. So I think when we meditate, that's been shown to oxygenate blood cells. When we ground ourselves, going in nature, having bare feet in the sand, grass, dirt, concrete, moisture, whatever, that's been shown to oxygenate blood cells. Eating an alkaline diet, good probiotics, those are all shown to do that, as far as I understand, or at least help or promote, you know, one to the next. And I think that when we, you know, it's like if we have an acidic diet, like our shit's all fucked up and we're all out of whack. Like when something goes acidic, it's most of the time not good. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's another thing too, is like when we're out of tune, we're out of whack, we don't feel that intuition, and how the intuition shows up is in the form of anxiety or depression, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like those two main things really, and just feeling scared and unsure of yourself, and things start becoming more uncertain. So I think intuition is the thing. How to recognize it? It's when your body's like, I know I need to do this, and then your brain is saying the exact opposite. I think that at least for me is a huge point of, whoa, intuition's happening right now. It's like this, I don't even know how to explain. It's almost like God gives me a hug, or like there's like this whole like vibration through me that just feels some sort of like tingliness or like pulsating or something. It's like, go. You know, it's the same feeling of like standing on the edge of a cliff, gonna jump into fucking water for the first time, and it's huge and you're scared and you're like standing like, ah shit. Like, you don't know how deep it is, you don't know how cold it is, you don't know any of that, you know? I feel like it's that same feeling of when you're like, fuck it, I'm going. Like there's this just jolt of like something that you feel. When you're about to perform something crazy or in front of people or some shit like that, like I think that like fiery moment where you stop thinking and you just go, I think that is intuition. And I think it's like you're just trusting life. You're just trusting life. You're trusting your situation. You're trusting that God got your back. You're trusting that you've got your back. So I think, if that makes sense, is like that's how we identify it, is we recognize the feeling and recognize the moment our brain goes, no, that's not what I want to do. Because our brain is almost never, ever, ever right unless you're specifically using it and aiming it at something. I'm going to accomplish this. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do this. This plus this equals this. And you start going logical. It's kind of like when it comes to intuition, you can't put a whole lot of logic behind it. And I think that's why it's hard to explain, because logically it's not just black and white, but we kind of are coming closer to that as we grow and learn more about the human body and how it responds to things and how it operates. So I guess very simply put, it's like when your brain says, I don't want to do that, that's what you really need to do. That's like very, very simplified, where it's like, no, I don't want to do that. And you know it's good for you, and your brain is just like, no. I think that's intuition, because it's almost like it's sparking anxiety. It's like your gut feeling. I got ink all over my arm. It's like your gut feeling, and then it's like trying to tell you something, and then your brain's like, ah, and then like another piece of your brain is like, yes, I know for a fact that this is good for us and we should probably do that. But the other voice where it's like, no, it's going to be hard, but what about this? I want to eat this. I want to do that. I want to go there. It's like that little bitch voice is always going to be trying to run around and run the show. So it's like, who do we really let run the show? So that's why I think it's easier. It's like once you ignore the bitch voice, the boss voice comes in. And once that boss voice comes in, that's who you want to listen to. That's the one you want to listen to. But oftentimes the boss voice doesn't come in unless we ignore or face or silence, or maybe not silence, because I don't know if it ever silences, but understand when bitch voice is coming and who it is and which one it is. I think it's a continuous practice because it's always going to occur over new things and new triggers and new things that we didn't really know, or have awareness over. So I think that ultimately, aside from those thoughts of when the brain's like, no, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? Like, that's a bad voice to listen to. The what about this? What about that voice? Like, when have you ever not figured it out?
Damn, dude.
Tell me one situation where you didn't figure it out and you died. And let's say one scenario where worst case scenario happened to you. Are you dead? Hell no. You figured it the fuck out. And that's going to always fucking happen because as above, so below. Like, it's just the circle of life. It's just going to continue and continue and continue. But with how much awareness are we going to go through the entire circle of life? Do we have a vicious circle, which most of us live in? Job, entertainment. Or do we actually live in the circle of life where it's like, wow, nature, animals, plants, myself, it's like God, this, that. And it's like you're going through and like, you're like, wow, look at other people. They're so beautiful. Look at animals and excuse me, all these things, like, holy shit. It's like, which one are we choosing for ourselves and which one do we live into and which one do we put weight into? So I think that anything that has to do with purity, improvement, betterment for yourself, that's not from ego or pride, but like realistically, like, wow, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna figure it the fuck out. That type of stuff is almost always of success. Like, I've yet to see people really take a chance on themselves, like, all the way, and it didn't work out. You know what I mean? It's like, I've never seen that happen. And any person who it didn't work out, they didn't take the chance all the way, or they got scared or pussyfooted or this or that, or just like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, you can't jump off a cliff with just one fucking foot. You know what I mean? You're going to be in bad shape. So that's the way I see it, is like, I don't know, when we can get clear on our feelings and sort through what we actually desire versus just what we think we want. There's definitely a difference, because one of them will fully serve our purpose, and the other one, it's like going off to war versus just staying back because, oh, I don't want to miss you. One serves our purpose and one is just quick entertainment. It's cheap. It's not lasting, and it's not heroic, and it's not honorable. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, this, as much fucking technical difficulties we had, I think this is a really good episode. I learned a lot from this one just by going through this. Yeah, man. And like I said, lucky episode 88. I don't even know how long this podcast is today. I'm shocked at the shit that went wrong, honestly. My memory card got full, but I clear it every single time. I guess I had all this weird backup shit in it. I don't know, bro. I'm tripped the fuck out. But I gotta read a book. I think what I'm gonna start reading is, I'm either gonna start reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, or Unshakable by Tony Robbins. But I've listened to the audiobook of Atomic Habits like 3 times now. But I've never physically read it. So I think I want to put something in between. So I think I'm gonna read this. Tony Robbins, Unshakable. Yeah. So, just found it at the store the other day. I'm pretty stoked. Tony Robbins pretty dope. And yeah. So, woo! Please keep sending in show suggestions and show notes and all that good stuff, because I love this shit. I love answering questions. It feels cool. We're open for fucking anything. Let us know. Holler, we'll fucking cover it. All that cool shit. So, like I said, I apologize. I apologize for this episode coming late because I was sick as fuck and I couldn't even fucking move. And I didn't want to give you guys like a shitty ass show of me just being like, oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, this, that. Like, I didn't want to give you that. So I waited. I fucking, healed up a bit and we're fucking good to go. Firing in all cylinders again. So actually, no, I feel a little shitty, but I'm like pretty much back. I feel good. Yeah. So, on that note, I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful day, evening, morning, whenever you listen to this. And yeah, much love. Roostertail, take us out. Much love, everybody. Love you guys. Peace.
90 miles push away, and I wanna be here for days. And we'll serve like 38. Now the sun touches your face, not the beach, not the blue. And the last one to be us too. And it's been, it'll be me and you.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude. Damn, dude. Damn, dude. Damn, dude. Damn, dude. Damn, dude. Damn, dude.